What's up guys, it's Mike back again today, MF Vape. Thanks for tuning into the channel, hope you're all doing very well indeed. Right, today guys, we've got a sub-ohm tank for you, and this sub-ohm tank was kindly donated by TVP, the vaping postman, Mark Roberts. Thank you very much sir, it is much appreciated. But anyway, this one is called the Amp X and it's from Ampool. Here it is, got the stainless version. Takes your mesh coils, and we've got it sitting on top of the range mod by Council of Vapor. So without further ado, let's go down now, show you the packaging that the Amp X comes with, and then we'll break it all apart, show you how to prime the coil, etc. And then we'll come back up top and I'll give you my thoughts on the Amp X. See you down there in a bit. Right, we're down at the table. Here's the Ampool Amp X sub-ohm tank. So it comes with this sleeve like here, usual scratch and check. We've got the parameters here. We've got stainless steel Pyrex glass. It's 60mm, diameter is 24.5, and it bulges out to 28 in bubble tank mode. Capacity of 4ml or 6ml, and a gross weight of 163 grams. Right, so got a number of different colours. I've got the silver version, so the sleeve just pulls off like so. Presented with this box, we've got Ampool written there and the address there. So we have got some nice thumb inserts. So inside you're presented with a spare coil. We've got the regular straight glass, which is 4ml capacity, and then we have our sub-ohm tank there. So underneath we do get some instructions and a couple of O-rings for you. Right, so here's the Amp X then. So look on the top, we've got this. It's a 810 fitting drip tip with O-rings on, so not all of your drip tips 810s are going to fit in there, which is a little bit of a con in my opinion. But we do have top fill on this one, so you literally press this button here and push over at the same time. It exposes your kidney-shaped port there. But yeah, you do need to get a fine sort of tip bottle in here. Not all of your bottles are going to squeeze in there perfectly. But yeah, I did have a little bit of trouble with this top fill. It's a little bit stiff at first, but it has loosened up. But you just push with that hand and then push around with this one, and then the drip tip falls off just like that. So that plugs in like so. So we have got some design work going on around the top here. We got a beefy O-ring around this top. Another one down the bottom here. We've got fully adjustable airflow, so we've got two sides, so you can adjust it to whatever you wish, and it's the same on both sides. Got a nice bit of that design knurling going on again there. On the bottom, try and get the light out, we've got Amp X written there. We've got the usual warnings in the side, and it does say designed by Ampool and Lex on the bottom. And we've got a gold plated floating 510 pin, so I wouldn't advise using this one on a hybrid mechanical device. So to unscrew it, we just go like so. Bubble glass just pops off. So we've got quite a nice bore with this one. We'll just get the calipers out. So we've got 6.29mm for the bore of this. So if you want to put the other glass back on, you just notice there we have got that beefy O-ring like I just showed you. That just pushes on like so. Just leave that like that. Have a look at the coil. This is actually the spare coil that comes with it, because I have been using the other one for the past week or so. Let's just zoom in and have a look. So you can see we've got the cotton juice inlet ports around the side. So you do want to make sure this is really primed up with e-liquid before you start vaping on it. So this is the XE core, the ME mesh there I should say. We've got 0.15 ohms, 60 to 100 watts, best between 70 and 90. So if you look on the top, we've got a very unusual like ball bearing type thing that's sticking up here, which I haven't tried this core yet, but we're going to use this core before we go back up top. Like I say, I've been using the regular one all week, but you just notice we have got mesh that surrounds the organic cotton there. So yeah, that's that. I'll just unscrew this one and show you the one that I have been using. There you go. So it's a little bit gunked up, as you'd imagine, but that's just a nice wide bore core. This one, proper sub-ohm. You can really rock this one at high wattages. I've been vaping it around 100 watts for most of the week. But just make sure you soak this in e-liquid thoroughly for a good 10-20 minutes. Wipe off the bottom so the contacts dry before you screw it back on. But then you can just screw that piece on. We'll put the bubble on. The bubble holds a lot more e-liquid, so that's the way we're going to use it. Screw that bit back on like that. Plug your drip tip on, and then you're good to go. So let's go back up top and I'll tell you what I think about it. Back up top with the Amp X by Ample. What do I think then? Well, it's a sub-ohm tank, so I'm not the world's biggest fan of sub-ohm tanks. I like my RTAs or my RDAs or Squonky Natties, but I've had a couple this year, the Waterflow Flow and the, what's it called, the Falcon by Horizon Tech. Now the Falcon really is a cracking little tank. So what about this Amp X then? Well, for the first week I had the regular cord in it, the one where you've basically got the bore all the way through, the wide bore to it, and that cord is a cracking mesh cord, 0.15 ohm. It's the same cord as what's in here, but yeah, you're getting proper oodles of vapor and really good flavour for it, and it especially works better at higher wattages, around 100 watts or more. But this cord here that I've put in recently, it's got more of a restrictive vape to it, obviously because we've got that like ball bearing on a stand on there. And to be honest, I'm not that keen on it myself. But we'll just give you a little toot on it. We've got it at 100 watts, it's reading at 0.16 on the range. Here we go. And we've got the air, we'll put the air fully open. So you're getting some nice smooth airflow on it, and it doesn't really matter if we restrict this down because, like I say, it's got the ball bearing thing inside there. It's restricting the airflow anyway, but we'll just try it on half open for you. Like I say, it doesn't really make too much of a difference with that particular coil. But if you use the regular coil, I think it's a damn sight better in my opinion. The flavour you're getting is that much better, and you can actually adjust the airflow and it actually works, because I rock it about half open with the regular cord that comes with it. But they both wick really well. With the bubble tank we've got the 6mm capacity, I believe it is. We've got no dramas with wicking. Just make sure that you bathe the cord in a little medicine pot, something like that. Wipe off the contact beforehand. Just make sure it's properly saturated before you start using it. That's what I do anyway. I know other people just paint the liquid on there, but it's up to you. But I like to make sure it's properly saturated, and then you're getting less likely to get a dry hit. So, but yeah, the coils in this do work really well. The first coil I had in there for a week and it's still going strong. It looks a bit black, but you can just run it under a tap and like wash out the cotton, and it'll probably give you another week's worth of use. Now this coil in here I'm not as much of a fan with, even though it's restrictive, and I do like a restrictive airflow. I actually think the flavour's not as good with this particular coil. Now getting on to the fit and finish, it's really well built. The airflow control is quite easy to move. In fact, it's a little bit too easy for my liking when it's been lubed up. And the top cap, you have to use two hands, push that button down whilst pushing across. Now it's working okay for me now, but the first few days I was finding it a little bit of a struggle to actually do. So those with dexterity issues might struggle a little bit with this one. It's not the easiest one to do. If you could just push it without having to put this hand down first, do you know what I mean? You've got to use two hands for it. I'm not much of a fan of that. The drip tip is the old 810 with the O-rings in, and I haven't got many of those. So I think I have got another one, but I couldn't find it. So your normal 810 fittings are too loose. They're just not going to fit in there properly. And I just find this style of drip tip, it's like the TFE8 series, is too wide bore for me. I like a lower profile and I like an 810, but maybe a little bit more, a little bit less of a bore, I should say. So it's just too wide. I don't like something that big in my mouth, unfortunately. But yeah, we got a nice finish on here. We got no sharp edges, anything like that. Like I say, the regular cord on here is a really decent mesh cord. This one with the restrictive part in it, I'm not so much of a fan of. But overall, would I recommend this? I think I would, but I was just stick with the normal 0.15 wider bore cord, in my opinion. But it's got cracking flavour. In comparison with the Falcon, I think it's just as good in my opinion. So yeah, it's just a really good sub-ohm tank, this one. So if you did enjoy the video, guys, please give it a little thumbs up. It really is appreciated if you could do that. And if you're new to the channel, why not give it a little subscribe too, and make sure you hit the little bell notification. It'd be great to have you on board. Now I've got my own website too, it's mfvape.co.uk, and you can also find me on social media. We've got Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And if you fancy checking out another platform, check out VapeTube and look for my channel on there and drop me a little sub. It would be most appreciated. So until next time, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Okay, cheers.